Hey guys, here we are at Watkins Glen in the Indycar for part 2 of our tire test. So we've already completed part 1 using the alternate tires, and as you can see we did an 11 lap run with our fastest lap being a 56.2, and you can see over here the tread that was remaining at the end of the run. We had 80% in the left front and like 86 in the right front up to like 94, and then the rears are pretty good in the high 90s. So now we're going to continue our test with the primary tire. Again, we're using our fuel level of 10 gallons, switching over to the primary, and we're going to see the differences in how much the tread's going to fall off and if we can get the same times. So without further ado, let's get to the track.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left. You have about 2 laps of fuel left. You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
So once again, I'm just going to go down pit lane pretty slowly as I give my comments about that run. So the first 2 laps when I was out there, the initial thought was it doesn't feel like the tires have less grip. It just feels like the tires are almost heavier, or the whole car is heavier. Like I felt for, especially for the carousel, I had to go around that corner like in second gear a lot because the car just wouldn't stay on the apex. It kept like sliding up. and I guess that was just not that much grip. But throughout the run, the tires really didn't seem to fall off, so that was quite nice. But it seemed like it was about 3 or 4 tenths off the whole run, around like a 56 7 or 6 instead of like 56 twos or threes. And so when you're having that fall off the whole time, the one thing to note is that as the softs or as the alternate tires will fall
Okay, punch
off,
it.
I feel at some point there'll be a crossover where those tires are going to fall down so much, and as you lower the fuel in this car, you're probably going to catch up because the tires are just going to maintain the same pace. But I'd say the problem with that with these cars is that the primary or the alternate tires, or because they're so much faster, they're going to get ahead of you for anyone using these tires, and then you're just going to get stuck in dirty air. So even if there is a crossover, it's going to be so hard to work to get around them. And so if you try to equate these tires to like a GT Sport equivalent, I wouldn't really say it's the difference between like a racing soft and a racing hard, but like a racing soft and a racing medium. A racing medium isn't going to be much worse. It's going to be a few tenths off. It's going to be a bit more durable, but it's just like when you have the choice to choose a soft, or choice to choose a better, faster tire by a bit, I don't know why you wouldn't. So let's see what the percentages are over here, and we can see that once again the fronts are the ones that are definitely losing more than anything. Again, the rear is like 98s and 99s. The front is at 90% all around, and then the right front is 92, 96, 98, and that is a huge difference compared to the alternate tires, which were at 79, 80, and 81. So basically a whole 10% difference in the front. And this was a 10-gallon fuel run. The fuel tank is 18.5, so this basically would be a double length stint, or double the effect of this. And plus this track, I mean, I guess you normally do a track with more corners. I had a lot of long straights in this too, so maybe the tires would even be affected more. So assuming this is double, that was a 10% difference. This might be up to 20% difference. So maybe using the alternate tires, that might be down to 60% or 70% at the end of the run, and these would only be down at 80. So, I mean, maybe this run wasn't long enough to tell how much these tires would really make a huge difference. Maybe after a long run, the alternates might fall down a lot more than we saw, only 3 or 4 tenths. But let's go look at the lap times that we had. So just looking at our results, here are 10 laps on the alternate tire, where we started at a 56.6, then we got down to 56.2, and then eventually fell back down to 56.6. And so you can kind of see our speed and basically learning the track a bit more. And then as the tires fall off, also this is as the fuel goes down, we're able to speed up. And then even though the fuel continues to go down, the tires are kind of hurting us more than the fuel. However, here we started at 56.7, holding that 56.8, 56.5, 56.6, and then we still hang at around the same time. So staying within basically 2 tenths the whole time, versus here there's about like a 4 tenth or 5 tenth differential. So once again, that's about half the time range. And again, I'm kind of surprised you weren't able to even pull down the pace a bit more. The fact that the tires hung on as well as they did and the fuel was going down, we still weren't able to get anything lower than, it looks like, a 56.5. So yeah, it's a whole 3 tenths difference. But yeah, I would say the big conclusion here, yes, these primary tires are more durable by a whole 10%, but the 3 or 4 tenth difference, which you're just gonna, I mean, on a track that's like probably a minute and a half, that's like maybe half a second per lap, and that gap is just gonna be huge over a whole run. So I would say every time, if possible, go for the alternate tire. It's gonna be faster, and the durability just isn't big enough of a difference. That's the big conclusion. So hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.